Hare Krishna. I welcome all to our new session, Basics of Bhagavad Gita. This is session 1 of Basics of Bhagavad Gita. What are we going to do in this particular chapter is we are going to do a thematic study of Bhagavad Gita. In the last session that we did, the study of Bhagavad Gita, we completed all the 700 slok one by one in a serial chapter 1, chapter 2. Now, here the difference is there are few themes in Bhagavad Gita, and we are going to talk about those themes in Bhagavad Gita so that it has a much clearer understanding what actually Krishna is wanting to tell us, because the shloks are actually spread across Bhagavad Gita. Here it will be all put together and we'll discuss that theme. Now, this is based on the teaching of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. So today we will do the introduction session, and from next time we will actually go into the details of each theme. So the first question that comes to our mind is, what is Bhagavad Gita? We talk about Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is actually a classic timeless wisdom, the summum bonum of spiritual truth. Summum bonum is basically the highest goal, highest standard that of spiritual truth. So that is what is Bhagavad Gita. It was spoken some 5,000 years ago by Krishna to Arjuna, and this is a part of Mahabharata. It is a part of our history, itihas, called Mahabharata. I think we all have heard about Mahabharata. And from chapter 25 to chapter 42 of Bhishma Parva, this 18 chapters that is there in Bhagavad Gita falls as a part of Mahabharata, and it has total 700 shloks, right? There is a Adi Shankaracharya. He has sung Gita Mahatmya, the importance of Bhagavad Gita, for all of us to understand what exactly Gita plays in the life of all of us and what we should do. So in the Gita Mahatmya Shlok 6, Adi Shankaracharya writes, Sarvo Uprishado Gavo Dugdha Gopal Nandanaha Partho Vats Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamitam Mahat. It means Sarva is all the Upanishads. We have how many Upanishads we have? We have 108 primary Upanishads. So all the Upanishads are like cows. They are like cows. And the essence of all those Upanishads are actually milked by Gopal, who is Krishna, Gopal Nandana, and who is drinking this milk which is being taken? It is Partha. Partha is Arjun. Arjun is the Vats is calf. Arjun is the calf. And Sudhi means all the wise people. What do? They enjoy. They bhokta is enjoy this essence of Gita Amrita Mahat. So Sri Adi Shankaracharya says, all the Upanishads are like cows. Krishna, the son of the cowherd, is the milker. Arjun is the calf, and the wise people are the ones who drink the milk, and the milk is the nectar of Bhagavad Gita, the supreme essence. So, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. Krishna himself says this in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15. He says, Sarvasya chaham hidi sannavishto matah smritir gyan apohanam cha vedaishya sarvair aham eva vedyo vedanta krid ved vidim chaham. It means Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannavishto. I am situated in everyone's heart. I am Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannavishto matah. From me comes smriti. Smriti is memory, remembrance. Gyan means knowledge. And apohanam is forgetfulness. So the remembrance that we get, or the forgetfulness that we have, or the knowledge that we get is because of Krishna, who is situated in our heart. And then he says, Vedaishcha sarvar aham eva vedyo. Vedyo means to know. So from all the Vedas, whatever Vedic scriptures are there, what is the essence of all these Vedic scriptures? I am to be known. I am to be known. And we would have heard about Vedanta Krit. Vedanta is the philosophies written by Ved Vyas. That is the end of summary of Vedas. Vedant Krit jo hai, I have written that Veda. I have written that because if you remember in chapter 10, Krishna says that among the rishis, I am Ved Vyas. He says, I have written the Vedant is written by me. So let us read the English translation. Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of all the Vedas. This is what is a 15th chapter, which is again an important chapter from 15.15. This is what Krishna says. And continuing with the Gita Mahatmya glories written by Adi Shankaracharya, in Shlok 4, Adi Shankaracharya writes, Gita Sugita Kartavya Kim Anye Shastra Vistarai Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukh Padam Advini Smrita. He says Gita Sugita. Gita is Bhagavad Gita. Sugita is beautiful song. Kartavya is it's our duty to read that beautiful, sing that beautiful song. Kim Anye, what is the need of Anye? All other Shastra, all other scriptures. What is the need of that other scriptures? Vistare, to go into detail of those scriptures. Why? Because Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya. This Bhagavad Gita is actually spoken by Swayam. Swayam is who is by himself. Who? Padmanabh. Padmanabh is Krishna, who is the supreme God. He has spoken this Bhagavad Gita from his lotus mukh mouth. This has been spoken. Then what we should do? We should actually regularly we should actually regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. So this is what Krishna Adi Shankaracharya says in Gita Mahatmya Shlok 4. And Adi Shankaracharya, I'm sure many of us would have heard the song Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudhamate, Samprapte, Sanhite Kale, Nahi Rakshati, Dukhi Kare, right? So this is something we would have been heard this song. This song is again Bhaj Govindam has been written by Adi Shankaracharya. And this he wrote when he was visiting Kashi with his disciple. And there he saw that some of the people who were in old age, they were trying to decipher the Sanskrit grammar and read into that, and these words was spun from him from his mouth automatically, that what are you doing this and wasting your time? It is time for your ripe fruit. Any day you can actually go. So what you need to do is Bhaj Govindam, sing about Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Oh fool, rules of grammar will not save you at the time of your death. So at the time of your death, it is not the rules of your grammar will help, right? Yeah, so that is what is Bhagavad. So that is the importance of Bhagavad Gita, that we must know and we must read Bhagavad Gita, right? So what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? I mean, what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Why Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita? And the answer to is that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to deliver mankind from ignorance. So what is this ignorance? Let's understand that. So let us look at the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What happened in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita? So we know that there were lots of atrocities that was done by Kauravas on Pandavas, and they kept on accepting it, and finally they said, okay, you take everything, but at least give me 5 villages so that each of us can stay in our village. And what did Duryodhan said? He said, I won't even give you a land equivalent to the point of the needle also. And finally, after, although Krishna went for a peace as a peace messenger, whatever happened, but neither Dhritarashtra, neither Duryodhan, they wanted to compromise, and they wanted to have this fight. So it was unavoidable. Now, Arjun was the greatest warrior. He was not only a warrior, he was the greatest warrior. He was such a great warrior that once Lord Shiva wanted to test his valor, power, and he came hiding as a hunter to test Arjun's power. And then they had a big fight. And finally, Lord Shiva was very, very impressed, and he gave Pashupati, Pashupata Astra to Arjun, right? But that Arjun, who was such a great warrior, that Arjun, who was such a great warrior, what he did? He said to Krishna, Krishna was the charioteer of Arjun. He accepted the role of a charioteer of Arjun. He told, before the battle started, one side the Pandavas are standing, one side the Kauravas are standing, and before the war started, Arjun asked Krishna, Krishna, please take the charioteer in the middle of the both armies. I would like to see who are on the other side of the Kauravas who are going to get killed today by me. Because Arjun was such a great warrior. As soon as he'll take his Gandhi is his bow, what will happen? Everyone will die. And he was very well aware about it. And Krishna, very smartly, he took the chariot and put that in front of what of Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya. Bhishma Pitama is his great grandfather, and Dronacharya is his teacher, and he's the favorite student and the favorite child of Bhishma Pitama. Now, this was the time when Arjun realized that what is going to happen, what is at stake in this war. And he started looking at on the sides of Kauravas, and he saw that five generations of people were actually standing in the battlefield. Someone who was equivalent to his father-in-law, someone who was equivalent to his great-grandfather, someone who was like his friend, someone who was like his son, who was son's son. Those five generations, and all the men were actually there in the battlefield. And thinking that as soon as what will happen as soon as the war starts, all of them will kill. He actually got into compassion. Because of compassion, he became very anxious. He became very, very anxious. Yeah. And he was, as being anxious, what happened? His limbs, his body, it started trembling. His mouth started drying up. His hair started standing. His bow started slipping. His skin started burning. And he was unable to stand. His mind started reeling. And he was saying, Oh Krishna, I don't see anything but misfortune. If this war happens, I don't see anything but misfortune. So the first thing that happened is he became very compassionate, and because of that he became very anxious. It was anxiety that was troubling him. Then he was foreseeing no enjoyment in victory. Why do we want to win something? We want to win something because it is a competition, and I can show to my family, friends that I have won this, right? So it is not only the Kaurava side will die, but also the people on the Pandava side will die. Only 8 people were left at the end of war. Everyone else died. So Arjun had a realization that with whom will I enjoy? If I won this battle, with whom I'm going to enjoy? There'll be no one with whom there'll be only dead bodies all around. And in that, how can I enjoy? So he says, there'll be no pleasure without relatives. And he said to Krishna, I will not do this fight. What about this earth? What you're talking about, this earth? This fight is for this earth. Even if someone gives the 3 world free, I'm not going to fight. Then he was scared about the sinful reactions that Arjun will get because of this fight. What was the sinful reaction? He said, okay, Kauravas are alpa buddhi. They are greedy. They are less intelligent people, because of which they are taking away things from us. It's okay, because they are because they are less intelligent, they don't see any fault in fighting. But I understand the loss that we are going to bear. So I cannot fight. I cannot fight. It is going to give us sinful reaction. I will only get pap, because we knowingly what is going to happen. By having that realization, I'm still going forward to fight. And then he said, destroying the family traditions. What will happen if all the men are die? Then who will take care of the what we do, the in the Pitra Paksh, we do the Shad. Who will do those Shad for the elders? And then what will happen? They will fall down. Then all the ladies at home, they will be widow. What will happen to them? What will happen to the kids? And those, it will be a misfortune together. And then he said, I am ready to live like a beggar, but I cannot fight. I'm fine to go to forest, but I cannot fight. And then it continued in second chapter. He says, Krishna, I am not able to take any decision. Now, this whole chapter 1, Arjun spoke everything except for 3-4 words which Krishna spoke when he brought the chariot in front of Bhishma Pitama and Dronacha. Otherwise, it is all spoken by Arjun. And he continued in the second chapter also. The best thing that Krishna did, Krishna was just listening to Arjun without giving him any gyan. Yeah. But then Arjun said to Krishna that I am totally bewildered. I don't know what is happening. And I am actually surrendering myself totally to you. I'm surrendering myself totally to you. And please help me to be my guru and guide me as what is right and what is wrong. Yeah. Now, unless Arjun surrendered to Krishna and accepted him as a guru, Krishna did not speak. But once he did that, Krishna actually took the charge of being a guru and spoke Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita, he not only spoke for Arjun, for all of us. Because all of us in this material world faces all these complexity. I think even if we are there, we will have a similar thought as how we can kill, right? So what Arjun was going through was a fight between an inner fight between the Kul Dharma. He was from the Pandavas. He was from the same Kuru dynasty. So it was his Kul Dharma to protect the dynasty. That was his Kul Dharma. And there was a Varn Dharma, being a Kshatriya, being the king. He has to fight against adharma. And he was getting confused and was attached compassion, and this is what was his condition. So what Bhagavad Gita did, what Krishna did when he spoke Bhagavad Gita in the end, Arjun said, I have understood everything and now I am ready to fight and follow your advice. So Bhagavad Gita is for all of us, because in this material world, all of us are going through some or other suffering, right? And once we understand Bhagavad Gita, we will know how to manage our life better, right? So, what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? It is deliver mankind from ignorance. So, Arjun was in ignorance. And in the end, Krishna, after listening to the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna took him out of ignorance to the enlightenment, right? Second very important thing of purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive the eternal relationship of love between each soul and God. So, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we have questions like, who am I? Who is Krishna? What is the relationship we share with Krishna? And how can we revive the relationship that exists? So all those questions becomes clear. So we come out of ignorance, right? So that is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. So why should one try to understand the Bhagavad Gita? Fine, that is the purpose. But then why should I understand Bhagavad Gita? I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm playing. I'm really enjoying my life. I work. I get money. I have a nice family. I have all relationships. And I'm having birthday parties. I'm having everything. A good friend circle. But then why should I try to understand Bhagavad Gita? Okay, let me be ignorant. I don't care. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita that this life, the human life that we have got, is actually very, very special. In Padma Puran, it is mentioned that there are 84 lakh species that exist. No, not human beings. All the living entity, including the trees, the aquatic animals, the earthworms, the worms, the animals, whatever. So there are 84 lakh species of living entity that exist. Now, these species are different than the species that we study in biology. This species is based on the level of consciousness that we have, right? And nearest to us is animal, right? Now, what we normally do in our life, we are sleeping, we are eating, we are mating, have partners, enjoy with them, and then we are defending, we are working, earning money, and taking care of the family, extended family, and all. This is what we do in our day-to-day life, and this is how everyone lives their life, right? Most of the people live their life, right? Now think, what does an animal do? An animal also sleeps, he eats, he also defends his family, and he also does mating. So, if we are only doing these four things that they are doing, then Krishna says there is no difference between us and an animal. We are just like two-legged animals, and unlike not the four-legged animal. That is the difference between them and. Because we have this human life, we have the higher intelligence, and because out of higher intelligence, we have the capability of asking, what is the purpose of this life? What is the purpose? What is the goal of this life? Why am I here? What is the purpose? So Krishna says, Ahar Nidra Bhaya Maithunam Cha Samanyam Etat Pashubhi Naranam Dharmo Hi Tesham Adhiko Vishesha Dharmana Hina Pashubhi Samana. This is from Hitopadesh. Krishna says, in Hitopadesh it said that if we are doing only these four things, then we are nothing better than an animal. So when we understand Bhagavad Gita, it helps us to reach the absolute truth. So it is being human. If we don't have that knowledge, we will not know what is the right karma, what is the wrong karma, and then what happens? We will slip down from human life to other lives. We can become animal, we can become insects, we can become tree, in our next life. And in that, the level of consciousness is so low that you cannot come back to human life. It may take millions of years to come back to human life. So what happens is, when we have this consciousness, when being human, we have the consciousness. So we have to use our life wisely to understand who am I, what is my, and also grow spiritually, right? And the question is, why should one try to understand Bhagavad Gita? Krishna says, to make permanent solution to the suffering of this world. Now, as per Bhagavatam, there are three kinds of suffering. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the three sufferings that we all go through is Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Devik. Everyone, whoever has born here, will go through this three types of suffering. What is Adhyatmik? Adhyatmik means suffering because of our body and mind. Yeah, we inflict situation in our mind which actually makes us what do you call it, depressed. Yeah, or we inflict pain to our physical body. So that is to our body and mind. When we create pain because of our own reasons, that is called adhyatmik. Maybe everything is fine, but I may imagine that things are going wrong, and because of thinking all those negative, I may get into depression. And when I get into depression, actually I am creating a mental, I'm creating a impact, mental stress on myself, right? So that is called adhyatmic suffering. Then is adi bhautik. Adi bhautik is because of others. Maybe your daughter, your son, your neighbor, because of that. Maybe the mosquito. Many people, when they sit, there are mosquitoes, they keep on troubling the people. That's quite normal. So that is adi bhautik, because from the bhautik, apart from you, there are other living entity that keeps on troubling you. That is adi bhautik, miseries caused by other living entity. And then is adi devik. Devik is natural disaster. We have flood, we have that cloud burst we saw, then we have what do you call it? So all those things is adi devik, all natural disaster. So these are the three sufferings that the human go through in their lifetime, right? So Arjun also was having the adhyatmic miseries, because he was getting troubled by himself, by also question in his mind. And what happened? Krishna helped him to relieve him, right? So now the question is, fine, this is what Bhagavad Gita helps us. So the question is, how one should understand Bhagavad Gita. It means the qualification of people who can understand Bhagavad Gita. So it is not that anyone can understand Bhagavad Gita. It's not like that. So there is some qualities the person has to have to understand Bhagavad Gita. First of all, Bhagavad Gita is a historical event. It is not a myth. It's not a myth. Krishna actually existed some 5,000 years back, and he has spoken Bhagavad Gita. So it is a historical event. Yeah, Mahabharata actually happened 5,000 years ago. We know Kurukshetra is there. We have all those things available, right? Then we should accept Bhagavad Gita as it is. It means, as it is means that when you read Bhagavad Gita, it talks about that there is a place called Kurukshetra where people assembled and then there was a fight. There are other, other spiritual masters who also talk about Bhagavad Gita as a imagination, that Kurukshetra never existed. It is all a fight between your mind and intelligence. That is what is all the desires is there, which is your the mind desires the Kauravas and the intelligence. So that is, so basically, no, we have to take it whatever has been spoken by Krishna as it is. We cannot concatenate our own meaning. We cannot bring our own meaning. We have to read what Krishna has written, and we have to understand that what is written as it is, right? What is the meaning of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad means God. Geet is song. So Bhagavad Gita is a song of God. Yeah. And to understand Bhagavad Gita, we have to have a spirit of devotion. We have to have a spirit of devotion. We cannot be envious of Krishna. Yeah. For example, Shishupal and then Kans, they were envious of Krishna. Even when Bhagavad Gita was being spoken in there, Duryodhan was also standing. Others were also standing. They did not understand Bhagavad Gita. It's only Arjuna who understand, because Arjuna was a devotee of Krishna, right? And so you have to have a devotion, and you cannot be envious of Krishna. Otherwise, you have to be humble, right? So if we don't have devotion and we try to listen to Bhagavad Gita, then it is like a bee licking the honey bottle from outside. Honey is inside, but then because of my ego, because of my because of my challenging behavior, not being humble and trying to understand, then what I do, we call it a false ego, thinking I know or I have heard. So very important is be humble, listen, learn, so that we can understand it better, right? So what are the subject matter that is discussed in Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita basically deals with 5 main topics, and that is, the 5 topics are Ishwar, that is God; Jeev is the spirit soul, all of us; Prakriti is the nature, material nature, that is Prakriti; Kal is time; and then Karma, which is activity, right? So these are the 5 topics that is being dealt in Bhagavad Gita, apart from yoga. Yeah. Who can understand Bhagavad Gita? So who can understand Bhagavad Gita? So first thing is, only when we are inquisitive about what is the goal of my life, I want to understand about the absolute truth, what it is. So when you have that inquisitiveness in your mind, then you are the right person to understand, because you have started searching for it. You are no more busy with all those fun and enjoyment, but you also have a adhyatmic thing in you where you want to understand that what exactly is the goal, what exactly is the spiritual life, what it is. So that is the most important. Inquisitiveness is very important. Then it must be from a bona fide spiritual master, and one should surrender unto him. These are very, very important words. That to understand Bhagavad Gita, you cannot go and understand it from any XYZ person. It should be a bona fide spiritual master. Think, when we start our schooling, right from, when we are second standard, we go to school. Even for writing A, B, C, D, we need a teacher. Even for standard 1, 2, 3, for writing maths, 2 plus 2, 4, we need a teacher. When for writing these things, which is material, we need a teacher, then this spiritual truth, which is so philosophical, how can we understand without having a right spiritual master, without having a right guru? Now, who could be a guru? And basically, what is this bona fide spiritual master? So, as per our Shastra, there are 4 Vaishnav Sampradaya. Yeah, 4 Vaishnav Sampradaya. So one is originating from Brahma, and that is called Madhva Sampradaya. Then one is originating from Lakshmi, that is Shri Sampradaya. Then from Shiva, which is Rudra Sampradaya. And one is Kumar, the four Kumaras, which is called Nimbarka Sampradaya. So these are the four Vaishnava Sampradaya which we can learn from any of them. And in Brahma Sampradaya, Madhvacharya is the important guru, who actually he's the who actually drove the Madhva Sampradaya and knowledge about Bhagavad Gita. So Udupi temple, it comes under the Madhvacharya is that. Yeah. Now Shri Lakshmi Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya is basically Ramanujacharya. When you say Ramanujacharya, he was the one of the. There are many lot of acharyas, but they are the known names. Yeah, and they have contributed a lot for the spreading of the knowledge. And when you talk about Ramanujacharya, then we know about the biggest temple in India, which is that Srirangam. The Srirangam is the Shri Sampradaya, which is from Ramanujacharya. Then we have Shiv Rudra Sampradaya, and in that Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami or Vallabhacharya, they are the famous name. So if you know about, in near Udaipur we have, what do you call it? That is a very famous temple. That is basically the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya. And then we have Kumaras, which is the Nimbarka was the, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the one that is followed, that we follow, it comes under Brahma Sampradaya. It's called, from Madhva Sampradaya, it's called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. It is Brahma, Madhva, and then Gaudiya. Gaudiya is basically God, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya. So that is, we all come under the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes under the Brahma Sampradaya. So we should follow the bona fide sampradaya, and we should take knowledge from that sampradaya. We just cannot go and take knowledge from any XYZ, right? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that, before that, let me see. So these are the four. So one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. You have understood me, a bona fide spiritual master, and surrender unto him. Very, very important. Now all these gurus, they are realized. They know the truth. They have actually realized things. But any guru will not speak when you are challenging him. So if you really want the knowledge, you have to be humble, you have to be polite, you have to be surrender. When they see, when they are sure that you are really want to understand the knowledge, then only they will impart the knowledge. Otherwise they will say, okay, today that this person has come, he is not serious about it. Yeah. So you have to, that is important. So surrender unto him. Like Arjun surrendered to Krishna, right? And then only Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Till then, the entire first chapter, entire second chapter, till 7th shlok, Krishna kept quiet. Yeah, only in 10th shlok, Krishna starts speaking. Then one must inquire submissively. So you must inquire, you must ask your doubt, but it should be submissively, humbly, and hear attentively from the Guru, because Guru knows the truth. Guru knows the truth. They have realized the truth. They have read. They have spent years and years of austerity they have done, and they have understood it, but they will not share with you if you are challenging them. So you must be hear from them attentively, and you must render service to them. You must render service to them and please him. And one must be a devotee of the Lord. So these are the quality for becoming a disciple. Now Krishna says in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya updeshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. It means that absolute truth, vidhi, that vidhis by approaching pranipatena, means pranipatena means submissively, pariprashnena, inquire with them gently, sevaya, by providing service to them. Then what will happen? Updeshyanti, they will give you the upadesh, they will give you the knowledge. Te jnanam, they will actually share the knowledge with you, because they have jnanina, those spiritual master, they have seen the tattva. Tattva is basically the absolute truth. They know about the absolute truth. Then only they will share. Okay, so just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service to him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Who can understand Bhagavad Gita again? So one must be a devotee of Lord. And Krishna again says in the 4th chapter to Arjun that he says, Sah evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratana bhakto asi me sakha cheti rahasya het hayetad uttamam. He says that this knowledge in the 4th chapter, Krishna starts telling to Arjun that, this knowledge that I'm imparting to you, actually I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan. Vivaswan is the sun god. And from sun god, this knowledge went to Manu. Manu is the father of mankind. And from Manu, it went to Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku is the king of the Sun dynasty, where Ramachandra was born down in the dynasty. So this is how the knowledge was passed. I gave it to sun god, and then this knowledge was passed using parampara. And all the kings at that point of time were Raj Rishi. Raj Rishi means the king were like rishis. They're called Raj Rishi means the king like rishis. They received that knowledge by parampara and they followed the knowledge. But what happened? Millions of years ago, when this happened, down the line, this knowledge got lost. And because this knowledge got lost, I am again telling you this knowledge so that the parampara can start again from you. So I am again telling you this knowledge so that the parampara can start from you. So if we follow the path of Arjun, we can also understand Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you. Because why is he telling to Arjun? Because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Because you are my devotee, you are my friend, so I'm telling you this to you. I'm not telling to Duryodhan, I'm not telling to Shishupal, but I'm telling it to you. And therefore understand the transcendental mystery of the science. So this mystery I'm sharing so that it can again start with the parampara, right? So the next question is, we talked about what are the qualities of a disciple. Again, even though it's a bona fide spiritual master, but what are the qualities of a guru? Who can be a guru? Everyone cannot be a guru. Krishna says, from whom should we understand the Bhagavad Gita? The first is, he must be in disciplic succession, Guru Shishya Parampara. Our parampara, as we talked about the 4 sampradaya, it has to be in the Guru Shishya Parampara, and then from there we should take the knowledge. We cannot go and take knowledge from any X, Y, Z. So Krishna says in the 4th chapter again, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshriyo vidu sa kale neha mahata yoge nashta parantapa. He says this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost. Right? So this was passed on, but then it got lost, and that is why I am telling you. So it has to be in disciplic succession, Guru Shishya Parampara. How should the Guru transmit the knowledge? Guru should give the knowledge to Shishya just like a postman. It means the divine knowledge that he or she has got has to deliver it as it is. It cannot add things to it and give the knowledge. Then it becomes not qualified. Hai na? So it should not be because I think so. No. It is, I am not capable of thinking at that level to give this knowledge. So whatever the knowledge has been given by Krishna, as this has to be given to the passed on to the next generation. And Guru should also have realized the scriptures by deliberation, should have read the scriptures, should have heard it from Guru, and should have realized it. Then only they become and should be initiated. So then only they become entitled to pass on this knowledge to the next generation. So in Srimad Bhagavatam it says, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishrantam Brahmanyo Upashyamashraya. Therefore, any person who seriously desire real happiness must seek bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of the bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusion of scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others to the conclusion. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material consideration, should be understood to be the bona fide spiritual master. Clear? Clear? Then the teachings of the guru must be in conformity with the parampara. Whatever the parampara is following, it should be as per the parampara. And the spiritual teaching, whenever you hear some information, then we should always question, because there are only three pillars on which the knowledge rests. Either it is coming from guru, and guru is telling as per the parampara, as is giving. Then it should be from sadhu, means some sadhu is basically someone like the guru. You are hearing from that again is coming from a parampara and shastra. So whatever is written in shastra is the testimony. We have to accept it as is. Yeah, that is what is the spiritual teachings tripod. It must practice what is preached. The guru cannot just speak, but should also be practicing what it is preaching. Yeah, and must have a proper acharan. So acharya, when we say acharya, means the guru has a proper acharan. The guru cannot be having, doing indulging into material happiness and teaching the student that no, this is not the right thing, this is the way you should live. So you should follow that parampara themselves before preaching, right? Must be fixed in devotional service to Lord, and senses must be controlled. Must see all living beings with equal vision, and must be their well-wisher. He must be a friend of all. So these are the qualities of a guru. Yeah. Now, the three steps of perfection. Now, by study, what do we learn when we study the Bhagavad Gita? So what we learn is sambandh gyan. What is sambandh gyan? Sambandh means relation. So we understand who is God, what is the relationship between the God and soul. That is called sambandh gyan. That is the first thing that we understand using learning Bhagavad Gita. Then, how can we revive the relation with the soul's relationship with the God? That is called abhidheya gyan. Abhidheya means understanding the relation between soul and God. That is the first step that we understand. Then soul and the God, how can we revive it? What is the process of reviving it, so that we can build that bond between us and God? And last is finally to attain the love of God. Yeah, manmana bhav mad bhakto. To get, there's a highest stage when manmana is thinking of Krishna always. That is like just like Gopi of Vrindavan. So attainment of love of God, which is the ultimate goal of life, it's called prayojan. So these are the three steps of perfection. Now, what is the process of acquiring knowledge? How do we acquire this knowledge? So there are two processes. One is called ascending or inductive process, which is called aroh pantha, and next is descending or deductive process, which is called avaroh pantha. One is ascending. I know the truth. I don't know. I am going to do my research. What is ascending process? Ascending process means I do not accept any authority. I will do research on my own, and I will find the truth. Yeah. So the knowledge is so vast that it is impossible. So normally what happens when we are when we do our the scientific things that we do, we actually imagine and we do some supposition, and then we do some experiment and prove that this is what it is. This is the inductive way. This is how we have been taught in our school, which is the ascending way. Don't believe that this is there. You do the experiment and then see. Or if it is written in your geography book, this is there, then this is truth. So there's a syllabus confirmed, that is the authority. If it is written there, then it is the truth. So this is the two things, that is how we all are grown, which is called the ascending process, right? Now this inductive process is always fraught with uncertainty and inaccuracy, because we are trying to do the experiment and find the answers for it, right? Now the descending process, for example, the descending process is what? It involves the bona fide authority. Yes, there's an authority, and we have read it. From there, that is why it is truth, right? Because similarly, like scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, whatever is written there, it is truth. We don't have to prove that it is written there, so it is the truth. Yeah. So that is called descending process, because it is as authority. Bhagavad Gita itself is authority, so we have to accept that, right? So although descending process is straightforward and simple, people by nature do not want to accept it. As soon as we talk about God, the kids will say, or many people will say, does God really exist? What is the proof that God exists? Yeah, because we have been taught in a mentality to question everything, right? So, and we have not been exposed to our scriptures well. So we question, does God really exist? No, I don't think God exists. What is the proof that it exists? Now, as per Veda, there are three types of proof. One is Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabd Praman. So as per Veda, there are three Praman that we have to follow. Pratyaksh Praman is what? Pratyaksh Praman is seeing is believing. Because I have seen it, so it is truth. And that is what the normal people in the material world, they do. No. Show me. Now, show me God. Now, we should ask, what is your qualification to see the God? Are you qualified? Are your eyes qualified to see the God? Is your consciousness matured enough to see the God? So instead of thinking like that, the question is, so what is the proof? That is a challenge that we do. So seeing is believing. So knowledge obtained by direct perception or instrument. Scientific experiments and proofs are generally based on such sensory perception. Now the absolute truth, however, is fixed and cannot be understood by Pratyaksh Praman. It cannot be understood by Pratyaksh Praman. Because why? Because our senses are imperfect. We cannot see. As soon as we switch off the light, our eyes is not capable of seeing our own hands. So our eyes are so defective, so limited knowledge, so limited capability, that if there is dark, we can't even see our hand. Unless there is sun, we cannot see, right? So that is the limitation that we have. But then without realizing that, we challenge. What it is. I know everything. That is a general mentality. So we don't realize that our senses are imperfect, and even if we use the scientific instruments, those instruments are not as powerful. They again have a limitation. So whatever they can see has again a limitation, which is beyond. They cannot go beyond that, right? Again, there's a tendency of being illusion. For example, when we go to desert, we see mirages, and we think that this water, isn't it? So that is again illusion that happens by our senses. And then we commit mistakes. To err is human. We all agree. To err is human. Because we are human, will err. So I cannot say, oh, but I did this, but maybe I am erring. And everyone will come out with different conclusion. And we have a tendency to cheat. ऐसा नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं. We will try to manage this. 0.01 कर देते हैं. So we have a tendency to, these are our defects. Because these are defects, so Pratyaksh Praman is not the right way to understand absolute truth. Now, what is this Anuman Praman? Anuman is something we because of our past knowledge, we try to understand something. We do anuman. We have a sense. For example, something is broken in the next room, so we know that this is the sound of a flower pot. You say, oh, lagta hai, the flower pot is broken, right? So there's a story of 6 blind men and an elephant. So the 6 blind men, they were actually put in front of a elephant, and they started feeling the elephant. Now one person touched the leg of the elephant and said, elephant is like a pillar. Another one touched the tail of the elephant, says elephant is like a rope. One touched the tusk of the elephant, says no, it is sharp like a spear. One touched the trunk, he says no, it is like a snake. And another one touched the body, no, it is like a wall. So all of them were actually partially correct. They were partially correct. Because they are blind, they cannot see the complete picture. Yeah, but it's only when someone with both the eyes open can see that, then only can say, okay, you are partially correct, but this is the actual truth. So that is the role of a spiritual master in our life. We may try to search something and come up with we can find some truth and think this is what it is. Yeah, because this is our limited knowledge. We are not under any bona fide sampradaya, and we are trying to understand based on our knowledge, whatever I can listen. So now a lot of people in the marg of gyan, they keep on writing books. Again, they are writing books based on their knowledge. Yeah, so that is again limited. The question is, again, how correct is that knowledge, right? So we have to go back to our scriptures. So that is what is a blind man and the elephant. So we have to have the spiritual master who has realized the truth and can impart and tell us how actually the elephant looks. So Anuman Praman is also half truth, half cannot be understood well. Now, third is Shabd Praman. Shabd means word. And Shabd Praman actually refers to the Vedic literatures, the scriptures that we have. That is, what is scriptures? Scriptures is the word of God. What is scriptures? It is the word of God. So hearing from a bona fide authority, Shabd means word that refers to Vedic scriptures. For example, not only Vedic, when you're in school, you have a NCERT defined syllabus. When you take the geography book and say there is a country called Ghana, you believe it, although you have not gone to Ghana, because you know it is written in that book, right? Similarly, when you are talking about the scriptural knowledge, you know that, okay, this is the sampradaya from whom I am reading, this is the message, this is the scriptures where it is written, so what I'm getting is the right knowledge, right? So Shabda Praman is the one. So accepting information from bona fide authority is beneficial and necessary because we have no choice. It saves times and inconvenience. It is the safest method. So Shabd Praman, we refer to authority which is infallible, perfect, and free from all defects, right? And which is what is that authority? Which are our scriptures, right? And it is apurusha. Apurusha means it is not written by any human being. It is the word of God. So that is why it is perfect. Any human cannot be perfect. So it is the word of God, scriptures. That is why that becomes our ultimate truth. It's written there, so it is truth, right? And it's a complete knowledge. So when something is stated in Veda, we immediately accept it as truth. The evidence for it being true is that it appears in Veda. That's all, and that's called Shabd Praman. So we should always look for Shabd Praman when we are stating any facts. Now, example of infallible wisdom of Vedic scriptures. Formerly, Earth was considered as flat. Earlier, Earth was considered as flat. But then modern science later revealed that it is spherical. But the Vedas stated long back that our Earth is bhugol, it is round, right? Similarly, the concept of relativity of time, it has entered into the modern science some 2-3 centuries ago. But thousands of years ago, the relativity of time is already mentioned in Vedas, right? Now, so what is scriptures? Scriptures is the word of God, and it is the law book of life. It is a manual for the universe, the means to understand God and absolute knowledge. So we have to go through our scriptures and learn from our scriptures. The question that comes to us is, why do we have so many scriptures? We have so many scriptures, and which one should I go for? Now, Vedic scriptures, in a very, very broad sense, have got Vedas. We have 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Atharvaveda, Samveda, Yajurveda. We have Puran. We have 18 primary Puran. We have Upanishad. We have 108 Upanishad. We have Itihas, history, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then we have philosophical like Vedanta and all, right? So our dharma is very, very broad. Now imagine there are so many people in 4 lakh species we have. Everyone cannot be of the same level of consciousness. Everyone cannot read at the same level. So our Sanatan Dharma gives an opportunity for the people to choose from wherever they are, at whatever standard they are, and then learn from there and move up from there, right? So that is why we have so many scriptures based on. Similarly, we have so many devtas, because it's not possible for us to know the supreme truth, but then we may be attached to some devata, right? That's how, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we'll come to know. So it is based again upon the level of consciousness where I am today, and it is fine. It is fine. So that is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma. It offers us that what we need to understand, what is the overall construct, and where we are going to, how we will approach the ultimate, right? So as we have different people around the world, we cannot accept all to be of the same level. Some people are in the mode of ignorance, some are in passion, and some are in goodness. And accordingly, our even Puranas are in the mode of ignorance, goodness, and passions. Again, we are all spiritual beings in a journey, in a different stage of our journey. And the Vedic scriptures addresses the need of all. And that is why we have such a broad variety for us, right? So this is what I wanted to share as introduction today in the class, and from next class we'll start into the the themes. We go into the themes. Yeah. So with this, I end the class today. Thank you. Let us chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and close the class. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna.